How's everybody doing tonight? So, today I'm going to touch on a subject that is pretty important to me and a lot of close people to me. I'm going to be talking about one of my best friends. A year ago today, he tragically passed away from an asthma attack. Now, anybody that doesn't know already must be wondering how that happened, and none of us are really sure to this day. He's had asthma since he was a kid. But no matter how it happened, we all miss him very, very much. And I know this isn't my usual paranormal video that I would upload on this channel, but I'll be covering something kind of paranormal that happened to me regarding Brandon at the end of the video. For the majority of this video, it's going to be a memorial. Me and some of my other close friends want to talk about how we met Brandon, what type of person Brandon was, and how he affected our lives.
If I leave you tonight, hold these words tight. Smile, don't cry. Raise your head, make these dreams come true. Live it up, keep looking up, I'm looking down at you.
Alright, so here we are sitting around the fire, just kind of hanging out, thinking about how tomorrow's the anniversary of Brandon's death, one of our best friends. So I'm going to get these two to talk about him, tell us how you guys met him, and tell us what kind of person Brandon was. Alright, so go ahead, Nick.
Well, when I first met Brandon was in 7th grade. I met him through Ben, actually. And I thought they were both a little weird when I first met them, but I was also that little weird kid as well. So we all became friends, and we were in the middle school band together. And we all went on a field trip to like Six Flags, and we were all hanging out there. And when we all got in high school, we were constantly hanging out, spending time after school, going to skate, going over to Cody's, and we were just always hanging out, doing music, whatever we just wanted to do that day. And I rode in the car with Brandon.
We all know that's a terrible idea.
Not a good idea.
So, what kind of person was Brandon?
He's incredibly
Larry.
outgoing, and he was just always progressive. He always wanted to make things better for everyone around us, whether it be through music, skateboarding. He would always try to improve your driving skills when you don't need to listen to him. I mean, he was just always ready to go. Didn't matter what we were doing, he was ready to go.
We front flip over a car.
I wasn't there.
Took off running. Back when Cody lived at Kensington, in the parking lot, he just took off running and did a front flip over the hood of the car. Just kept going.
Alright, Nick, so last question. In what way did he affect your life?
Brandon taught me a lot of things.
Like what not to do?
What not to do, and if I was ever having a hard time, he was there for me. So that was always a great quality in Brandon, and I hate that he's gone, and that really upsets me and all the guys. I know they're all tore up about it. We have been for a long time now. I mean,
It's been almost a year.
It's just crazy to think about how he's gone. I
Doesn't-
miss him so much.
Doesn't feel like it's been that long.
I just wish he was still here. I know he's looking down on us, and I know he's still participating in everything we do every single day, and I just appreciate him so much, and I miss him. Rest in peace. AFL.
AFL. Alright, Ben. So, how'd you meet him?
Alright, so back in 7th grade in middle school, he had never said a word to me until the day he jumped on my back and grabbed me by the neck and just hung on me. Brandon was a short little dude. And he asked me to come over and stay the night, and wanted to go skate. Got an old Walmart board. I went over and I stayed the night with him. We hung out.
Gunshot. That's what that was. All right. So, what kind of person was Brandon?
Very sporadic. He always had random ideas. Bam, bam, bam. Like wanted to go do this or that. It was always crazy and awesome. And he would always get you so hyped to go do something. Like before we'd go skate, he would just get you so pumped up about it. We'd go flying down the hills at Broad Acres on those skateboards. I remember when he broke his collarbone.
Oh,
First
shit.
time he actually got a good skateboard with like professional bearings in it. He swore up and down he could just make it down the whole hill. He made it about halfway and then stayed with him the whole time. He had to wear that brace, and he was still wanting to skate after that. He'd still get on the skateboard and try to ollie or to kickflip, even with a broken collarbone.
He was a crazy one. In a good way.
Kid.
So, last question. How did he affect your life?
Brandon taught me that anyone you meet, bond with, you gotta do everything you can for him. He had such a big heart, even being such a little dude. He had love for everyone, even though he is a little crazy at times.
Definitely crazy.
He'd definitely go out on a limb for his friends.
There you got it, Brandon. We all miss you, buddy.
Love you, B. Later, man.
My name is Cody Douglas, and I have known Brandon for about 10 years. I met him in 7th grade, and what got us to start talking was he was in a cast. He broke his collarbone skateboarding with Ben for the first time, going down his hill. He had a crazy looking bowl cut. Would play with tech decks in homeroom. Was just a weird kid like the rest of us guys were at the time. He was a great guy. Had the biggest heart. Would help anybody out who asked for it. Even if he didn't have it to give, he would give it. He always had our back. No matter what the odds were or what we were against. He always had our back. He was always the first one there. Especially with me. He actually saved my life. I owe him everything I have today. If it wasn't for Brandon Morgan, I would be in jail or in a hole in the ground. He begged and pleaded his aunt and uncle, my parents, Christy and Keith Gibson, to adopt me because I had nobody. And he begged and pleaded for them to take me in so I wouldn't be alone, so I wouldn't go to a home, be somewhere that I didn't know anything about. He gave his everything to put me in his family. He was such a good person that he literally welcomed me into his family. I owe everything I have to him. One of the best people I've ever known. One of the best friendships I've ever had. And one that I sadly can't say is still going because he's no longer here. And I will never have the chance to repay the huge debt that I owe him for what he's done for me. Rest in peace, fam.
When the idea for this video came up, I started thinking about all the things that I could say, and I thought for a while about it, and the memories and good times ended up just taking over. I had a constant smile on my face while thinking about the good and hilarious times we had. I may not have known Brandon for as long as some of the guys, but I had a great relationship with him while I did. We had the common interest of making music. We worked on it for hours and hours a day, almost every day. He would show up and we would record the same lines over and over for hours until he thought they were perfect. We had such a good time, even on days that I'd rather just be doing something else. I met Brandon through the guys, and I'm incredibly glad that I did. He was an amazing friend. One big thing I thank Brandon for is showing me how to laugh and have a good time even when things weren't going my way. Even through the hard times, he helped me get my mind off things and showed me how to stay focused on other stuff. Brandon just made life a little bit easier every day. And the time I shared with Brandon, he really did just make things better just being around him. He made each of us laugh until we were in tears, and he would just do anything in the world for the ones that he loved. And he definitely made that known to all of us. Brandon was hugely loved by everyone he came in contact with. I feel extremely blessed that I got the chance to be as close as him as I was. I cannot wait to see him again, and I hope he's as clear-minded and as happy as he always was.
What's up, guys? I want to do my section of this, and I want to keep it kind of short since the video is already going to be probably over 15 minutes long. But I want to talk about how I met Brandon, how he's affected me, and what kind of person Brandon was. So I met Brandon through the other guys, and we all started hanging out, and to be honest, at first we didn't get along very well, but over time we started to become pretty good friends. He would always push me into doing things that I didn't want to do, just like everybody else, and I did it, and then I always regretted it afterwards, but I don't regret the time that I did spend with him. So the type of person Brandon was, he was very giving. He always wanted to do something for someone else. He always wanted to get up and go and do something, get out of the house, have fun, skate, whatever it was. Me and him spent a whole day one time just walking down Emory Road all day. God, it was pretty awful by the end of it, because we had went from one end of Emory Road to the other, and I was beat by the time we got to his aunt's house. But he just wanted to do everything, and he wanted to do anything for anybody. Now, how he affected me, he really affected me in a way that he taught me to love everybody, no matter what kind of person they are. He had some friends that I didn't even like in the slightest, and I wondered how he did the things he did for them, but he didn't care about your personality. He just cared about you as a person, and he taught me that I should always give my shirt off my back to someone that needs it. He was just overall a great guy, and I really miss him. Now, I wanted to talk about the paranormal part of this incident that happened with me and Brandon. I hope this part of the video does not offend any of Brandon's family, but actually provide some comfort in knowing what I'm about to tell you. Back in March of this year, someone else close to me lost their grandmother, who was the closest person to them. We were staying at a hotel in Oak Ridge, and they really wanted to talk to their grandmother one more time. We knew it wasn't a great idea from past experiences, but we decided to make a Ouija board and attempt to talk to them. Now, at this point, it had only been about 5 months since Brandon's passing, and I still thought about him every single day at that point. I wanted to talk to him, too, if at all possible. We did, in fact, get into contact with her grandmother. There was no mistake that it was her personality. After giving her as much time as she needed to talk, I asked her grandmother if there was any way for me to talk to my friend Brandon. She said that she could get him for me. After about 30 seconds, it spelled, "What's up, man?" Just like that. Now, I'm pretty careful when I use the Ouija board. I know spirits can trick you into thinking it's someone when it isn't. After asking several questions that only I would know the answer to, and only Brandon would know the answer to, seeing the way that he was spelling everything out, and after that I was pretty sure it was him. I want to keep this part short since it's not the main reasoning behind the video, but I also want anyone to know what happened. He said to me as he was having an asthma attack that he had accepted Jesus into his life and that he's now in heaven. He was allowed to come down and talk to me one last time so that I would know he was alright and that everybody else would know. After talking to him for a little while and him messing around with me the way that Brandon always did, before we said goodbye, he wanted me to tell everyone that he loved them and that he misses them and that he'll see them again soon. I wanted to give a special shout out to his immediate family, Kelly, Greg, Christy, Keith, and his sister Caitlin. I know this tragedy affected you all more than anybody else. I hope this video has provided some relief in knowing that Brandon is in fact watching over us, and you'll see him again one day.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it